morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back and welcome to 2022. Holy macaroni, I can't believe, I feel like I say this every year, every time I come back, I'm like, can you believe that it is another year? Yes, we all celebrated it. But welcome back. Oh my gosh, this feels very, very strange. Yesterday I was sat on the sofa and I felt like, oh, I can't wait to get vlogging again. And this morning I'm like, should I start now? When do I start this? So we're starting it. And I hope it goes well. No, but welcome back. I hope you've had the most wonderful time off. I feel like, and I will always be the sort of champion of this, I feel like we need another 2 weeks in the summertime. I think it's just the perfect thing when everyone's out of the office, everyone's emails stop, and you just get to like breathe and relax. I find it so therapeutic. So yeah, I'm gonna like start campaigning for 2 weeks in summertime so that we just, you know, every 6 months I feel like we need a little bit of a reset. And that is exactly what I've done. I mean, to be quite honest, it felt so weird because I got to the end of Vlogmas and I was kind of like, oh, I feel like I could keep going. But I know that it's really important to like stop. And I even, for the first time, for the most part, apart from a little feature of me, I took time off social media as well, which is not something I've ever done in terms of like, usually if I take time off social media, it means I'm in a really bad place. And so to just kind of choose to do it was new for me and it was really nice. I actually thought I'd have loads to sort of show you and update you, and I took no blooming pictures, did I? So I couldn't show you anything. But we had a really lovely Christmas and New Year's. Christmas was like different and I felt like it changed after all of the COVID stuff, in that like we realised we wanted to spend a little bit more time at our house, and also we changed a few of the celebrations. So I actually had a huge amount of my family here as well, which is not something that we often do, and it was really lovely. Like my mum was here, my dad, my stepmom. I got to spend it with my 2 nephews and my niece, and it just felt lovely, despite the fact that there is chocolate all over my sofa. I don't care. You can tell I'm still not over it. No, that's why we got the removable covers, but we just had the most wholesome time, and it was actually really good for Porter as well, because Porter has really struggled with little people, and this was the time where he just fell in love with them. And him and my niece and my nephews, they just, all of a sudden it just kind of clicked. So it was really lovely. And then New Year's, we spent it with friends. It was a really tiny small group of us in a very lovely setting, and playing games and drinking and just having a really lovely time. If you haven't watched it, I would have put up my what I got for Christmas video already, so if you wanted to know what I got, then I will have gone through all of that with you on Thursday, so you'll be kind of like all up to speed. But I've had a really lovely time, and I hope that despite everything that's kind of like been going on in the world, and it was very uncertain again, which I really didn't see happening, I hope that you had a really lovely time, because if there's one thing that Ali and I realised after last year, is that we will have a lovely Christmas no matter what's happening. We just have to make sure that we want, and kind of like in our minds believe we're going to have a lovely Christmas. And that was what we did when it was just the 2 of us last year. So we were sort of like, you know, if it happens, if one of us gets COVID, we'll still have a really lovely Christmas. So I hope it was that for everyone as well. It's lovely to be back. I kind of wish it was a little bit longer. I was just enjoying reading my books on the sofa so much. But I've also been doing a lot of planning and cleaning. You will probably hear a little bit more of an echo in here because we did a full pack down of the house, both Ali and I. We actually filmed it over on his channel, so if you want to watch it, it should have gone up yesterday. So if you've had a little bit of withdrawals from me, there is more of me over on my husband's channel, although I was like fully in the zone, just wanted to cleanse my house of everything. So I actually don't think I had much banter in that video, so I apologise, but I was like, mission, clear up the house and not be doing it until 11 o'clock at night. So yes, we got all the trees down, we cleaned, we cleansed, and it was wonderful. And in the meantime, what I've been doing is planning what I'm going to be doing in the house for the sort of gap between Christmas and spring, because I certainly don't feel like I want to have like festivity kind of decorations up. That's very much just for Christmas. So taking full inspiration from our trip to Time Before Christmas, I'm going to go and pick up some ferns and some sort of like potted plants just to pot around the house and bring some of the outside inside, as it has got very, very cold today. We also have a trip to Burgess Reclamation Yard, which is where our lovely butcher's block is from. We've been drawing up some plans for some bits and pieces around the outside of the house. We're having some of their reclaimed wood made into some kind of boxing in for our air conditioning units, for our electric boxes, just things like that, just to make it look a little bit more beautiful. And I've also had a little bit, finally, I knew it would finally come to me, I've had a design of the like courtyard light well area, and I found a design that merges both the love of like the modern side of rustic living and rustic living perfectly. So I'm going to be talking you through that and showing you that as well. I'm actually going to put up a question box on my Instagram, so I'm going to answer some questions throughout this video as well, just to kind of catch up, because I feel like we need to catch up and also chat like the year ahead and just all of the good stuff. So it's been a good day. I've done my workout. I did a 20-minute workout with Holly on the Vaha this morning, and then I also did my first Pilates class on the Vaha as well, and I did that with Hattie. Hattie is by far my like favorite instructor on Vaha. Honestly, like I just love all of her classes, from like the bar classes to the yoga to Pilates. I really like her. I also really like Holly, but I can only find 2 cardio workouts from Holly, so I want more from her, because one of them's like a beginner one as well, and I was a bit kind of like, that wasn't enough for me. But I'm loving it. Literally, I took all my family downstairs and I was like, have you seen my Vaha? And they all think it's really great as well, so it's good. But anyway, that's how my day started. I think we are just about ready to head out. I'm dressed in warm casual wear because, as mentioned, Mr. Millen Gordon came back this morning from an appointment and said it is very cold. So I've got my gloves, I've got cashmere, lovely, lovely cashmere jumper on. I'm going to pop my Purdy coat on, and hopefully that'll keep me warm, because we are going to be walking around some reclamation yards and also the garden centre. But you know when you feel like I have so much to say and I don't know how to make it all come out. So hopefully it will all come out in this video. I go back to work tomorrow, like officially, so we still have a nice, calm and quiet house. And I tell you what, it has been lovely not having a house full of people and not having the doorbell go every 5 seconds for deliveries. That really has been lovely. And just in case you're wondering if we did celebrate a lot over Christmas, this is the remnants. I don't think this is all of them as well, because I'm pretty sure we left some at pubs and friends' houses and things like that, but this is what was consumed in our house over the festive period, and I'm quite proud of myself. This little one, as you can see, was very, very spoiled over Christmas. He got this lovely Sophie Allport veg box from his Auntie Carrie, which he loves. We put his peas in there and he sticks his schnoot in, which is the perfect size to get in there, and he pulls them out and he loves it. And we also discovered that he loves these rings. I'll link these in the description box down below, because I know lots of you also prefer the more kind of natural treats for your dogs, which is what we do with Porter. It's one thing that we've certainly realised over the festive period is how important his diet is. So we'll pop a link to those rings in the description box down below, because they're just natural, all natural hide rings, and he absolutely loves them. We only discovered that he loved them when we took him to Ali's parents on Christmas Day, and their dog Archie had one of them, and Porter just fell in love with it. It keeps him occupied, it's really good for his jaw, and it's all natural. Anyway, I'm gonna go in search of my husband, who I believe is where he is usually, in his office, and we are gonna wrap up warm and head out to the reclamation yard. The star of Vlogmas 2021. You stole all of the hearts of, yes. Oh babe, now that you're like actually in my vlogs again, People are like, he's so funny.
Oh God, I'm so tired today.
Yeah, we had a long old day yesterday.
Watching this video, I look like I've been on a big session.
Do you?
Well, I kind of have for 2 weeks.
Yes, we have been on a big session for 2 weeks.
It's like, oof, I need to get my hair cut again.
Oh gosh. Monsieur Sausage is currently locked out of a lot of the rooms because a certain someone gave him a little too much of the food he shouldn't eat, and he's had a bit of a poorly tummy.
Good for the boy's belly.
Well, it's not table food because most of our food is pretty good, but unfortunately we had a bit of a takeaway last night. I think it's all of the other treats that you give him.
Oh, treats.
Ali, you do not consume anything without giving some to your boy, so I think we reached Monsieur Sausage's limit, and Mr. Millen Gordon paid the price for it this morning by having to clear it all up. So anyway, the plans are to head to the rec yard and hopefully order in some bits, and then I'm gonna get some bits to dress the house. I want a really beautiful fern to go here in either like a terracotta pot or an urn, and just kind of dot some maybe smaller ferns throughout the house. As you can see, all of my little jars are all clear of all of their foliage, done by Hello Petal, of course, and all the Christmas trees are down, and normality to a certain extent with a puppy is restored. I have also, for the table downstairs, ordered a large faux fern from Artifact Flowers. You'll know that I'm a really big fan of everything from Artifact Flowers, and I thought, you know who's gonna have a really good one that's gonna be able to survive on the lower ground floor? It's gonna be Artifact Flowers, and I found one, so hopefully that will arrive soon, but I don't know when it's going to arrive. I'm not going to go over the top with it, but just a little bit of dressing for the house. I think it goes a long way. You know what I'm like, I love it. And actually, I dressed this little area here the other day. This was a book, you may have seen this in my what I got for Christmas video. This was a book from my nonna and my uncle. It's from their very own bookshelf, and it is the most beautiful atlas of wine, and I saw it and I just thought, oh my gosh, that is stunning, and I wanted it to take pride of place, so it is on there with my new bowl, which I ordered from Time. I regretted so much not getting the fern napkins that I ordered the fern napkins and ordered this beautiful bowl. I love their ceramics, so I couldn't say no to this. And then a little bit of a Dalesford vine tomato candle on there as well. I just thought it made a nice little replacement of the flowers that were there. But now we need to get going. We are just heading out in the garden to get some pictures for the guys at Burgers so that we can tell them accurately what it is that we want. I am going to speak to them about potentially redoing my raised beds, because we've had a quote for it. I just want to see how much it would cost for them to do it. So just have it sort of done in the same wood as my little trough planters there. Just have them redone because these were pretty cheap, to be honest. Oh, look how sad it looks. But we are going to start planting very soon. Can you believe that we are a few months away from the season beginning? But basically the plan of action for this area is we will be keeping the glass but replacing all of the bits that are metal with really beautiful oak plinths and like dividers. I found loads of pictures on the internet and I realised that that is going to work perfectly with kind of everything else that we've done with the house, obviously with the addition of the oak furniture outside, the oak porch, and eventually we will have a lovely oak shed as well. So I think that that will work really nicely. I'll insert a inspo picture on screen so that you can see. We will need to replace all of the coping stones as well because they need replacing anyway, and we will of course also put in a new staircase. I think an oak staircase would look so much nicer personally. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do out here. Then we've just got, like I said, some boxing in and bits and pieces like that just to keep everything looking lovely. But there are no more Christmas lights out here. It's looking very bare, ready for the season ahead. And I can just never get over how different this space is in the wintertime. I think what we're going to do as well is get this finally dug over and integrated into the garden, just because we don't need a pit of stones. We are measuring up. Always handy.
Ready?
Hold on. Okay.
So just do 230.
2 meters 30, 2.3 meters. Goodbye, little boy. Be good. Oh, I do love a dirty Land Rover. Look at the state of it. Ali hates it. I love it. I get so excited when I come here. There's just so much stuff. In fact, there's even more stuff than last time. Oh, I love it. One day I'd like to change the fire surround in our living room to something as beautiful as this. Something old and just a little bit more different. I love it so much. This is so perfect. Oh, I do love all of these little old stools and things like that in here. Oh look, this is one of the butcher's blocks mounted, because you can also have them mounted so that they're like freestanding and you can move them around. I love this cupboard. This is so nice. Oh my goodness, it is so cold. I don't want to take my mask off because it is so blooming cold. So that was really, really good. We got an idea of exactly what we can sort of get done fairly quickly, things that might take a little bit longer. It's going to be really interesting for me to see how much the beds are, because obviously I'm looking at the, it has less longevity to redo my beds in the boards rather than the stuff that Nicholson's was saying. Because Nicholson's wants to do it in the same wood that they did the steps, but it's like quite orange.
No, they're not going to do them in that.
Yeah.
That's sleepers.
No, it's not sleepers, babe, that's pine. So I need to have a think about the raised beds, but I think we can get the order in for everything that's gonna kind of cover things around the house as soon as possible. Yeah, okay, cool, so we've got a good idea. It is not the day to be going around outside at all.
No, it's freezing.
It is freezing, so we're gonna head to the garden centre now and quickly slapdash grab some ferns and some other potted bits and bobs. Well, they did when I went the other day. Final stop of the day. We are at, no, actually it's not the final stop, is it? We're going to Waitrose. By the way, this is definitely not We Love Waitrose fan channel. I know that I go on about it so much, but we do need to do a food shop because it has been the Christmas holidays and we haven't had a delivery, so we're gonna go and get some food. It is fresco ball. Ali just goes to me, oh, lids, quick. And then points to that. No, we don't have Porter with us. It's just he's referring to me. Very funny, Mr. Millen Gordon, very funny.
Puppy.
One thing that I really want to stock up on is frozen croissants. Oh my gosh, babe, they have almond ones.
What?
Almond croissants.
Oh, nice.
So basically we went to, well, when I went to Fleur's, she just cracked out some frozen croissants and I thought that is the best idea ever. Freshly baked from frozen in her oven. So yeah, I think that we should stock up. Such a great thing to like just whack out for breakfast. What do you think? We're definitely going to eat them ourselves and no one else is going to get them, but that doesn't matter.
Almond croissants are delicious.
Yeah. We are loading up our cheese and ferns into the boot. So there was very few ferns left, so I'm going to come back in the week because they're saying that they're getting another delivery, but it's good because it means I get to try them out in places and I have a better idea for how many I need. We've stocked up on cheese and bread, of course. Lovely. What?
Why are you wearing your mask in the car?
Because I didn't bother to take it off because we're going from place to place where we need to wear bloomin' masks. We've arrived at Waitrose. We're about to do some damage. This is my favourite thing.
I'm actually quite full, so I'm not that nervous.
I'm not nervous that we're going to make mistakes. That's why I wanted to eat something, because I knew that if we went around the shops, I would just buy absolutely everything. But still, I am partial to anything from Waitrose. So let's go in, let's buy some bits and bobs and do some shopping. We are currently in the veg aisle and I'm buying all of the healthy stuff because that is basically our January in a nutshell. What a cliche. So far we've got carrots because I'm going to cut them up and have them with hummus. Same for my cucumbers. I'm really missing growing my own cucumbers. strawberries for champagne, figs because they're yummy, and grapes. Oh, babe, do you know what we need to get?
What?
Bagels, cream cheese, and cranberry sauce.
That's not. Maybe save that for treats.
Oh. Oh, I am very much enjoying the Waitrose Eco Cleaning range. I think it looks very nice. And white ginger and bergamot. Oh, lavender and rosemary. Oh, such lovely fragrances. Why am I like this with cleaning products? I have no idea. One of my Christmas presents was this. Was it the Malbec or the Merlot? I think it was the Malbec. Oh, it was the Malbec, wasn't it? Oh gosh, it's never ending. Monsieur Millen Gordon is ready to load the car. We've got a little card for our friend as well. It's his little baby's first birthday today. Well, it was at Christmas. He's the real baby Jesus. Oh my goodness, it is so cold. I feel like I must have said that 100 times on this video, but it is freezing. We finished up at Waitrose, and just as we were putting through things on the till, I picked up my bag of pasta, gluten-free pasta, and it had a hole in it. So I was like, oh, don't worry, I'll go and get a new pasta. And when I came back, I was like, hee, it means I got out of loading the bags. And Annie was like, sorry, my wife's got a hole in her. Can I have a new one?
I never.
That's like, you little. Right. I'm sorry, please do take a look at this gluten-free sliced tiger cob. Oh, this is what I love about Waitrose. Everything is so good. Obviously, hiding these because these are not part of January's diet. Oh, another thing we picked up, salted caramel sauce and Belgian dark chocolate sauce for when we have s'mores. Oh, yes. Perfect, perfect. Oh, we also picked up a bottle of Chateau Neuf de Pape. This one was a 4.7 rating on Vivino, so I picked that up, and also I picked up a repeat of the wine that my assistant Fee told me to get because I really, really loved this. It was kind of like a blend between Jam Shed wine, which is very unwiney wine, whereas this is a bit more of like a winey Jam Shed, so it's still that really kind of sweetness to it, but very, very nice. I liked that one a lot. Oh, and another thing, there's so many things I haven't told you, but one of the things that we did was we did a breakfast at ours on Boxing Day, and we were like, what should we do for breakfast? Because Ali's dad always does salmon and scrambled eggs, and it's so, so delicious, and we knew that we couldn't rival it with anything like scrambled eggs. So we were like, what should we do? And we love bagels. So we did bacon sourdough bagels with soft cheese and cranberry sauce, and it was the beach smoked bacon. Oh my goodness, everyone was like, this is so good. In fact, we had it the next day as well with my brother's family. So wow, that is going to be a tradition, isn't it? That was so delicious. Yeah, we were like, oh my gosh, because you know it's like so hard to come up with these things. Like, traditions have been around for so long, but now we've created our own little tradition. Mr. Millen Gordon has jumped the gun and popped one of the ferns in place already, so I'll show you it. But it looks exactly how I wanted it to. Very, very time-esque, but still lovely and natural. Beautiful. So I picked up lots of carrots, because sadly my supply of carrots from my beds are long gone. And there's one thing I've realised is I snack on crisps a lot. Please ignore the Tyrrell's crisps behind me. But I snack on crisps quite a lot because they're quick. So what I intend to do tomorrow is I'm going to make a batch of my ginger and lemon tonic, and I'm also going to cut up all of my carrots so that I can just grab handfuls of carrots to have with hummus, because I actually prefer carrots and cucumber with hummus, like with salt on it, on the cucumber. Oh my gosh, so good. So that is one thing that I'm going to be doing, is making good snacks readily available, because otherwise you just don't snack on them, or I don't because I'm lazy. Bloody hell. Need to start having some tomato and mascarpone. Oopsie Daisy. I've got about 8 tubs. I think I buy usually the fresh pasta sauces and put them in the fridge, and then I think to myself, oh, I'll get a jar one as well because they keep longer, and I'll put it in the pantry. I've got like 8. I've got like 8 in there. We have so much cheese, oh my goodness. Although it's a good thing when we have loads of cheese because it means that we have to actually eat the cheese, so we have cheese and wine nights with our friends. And one of the other things that we're hoping to do this January, we've actually got a really lovely meal booked in. We're going to Paris House. We're trying to make sure that January isn't like boring and miserable. So we're trying to like book things in that are fun. So it's just not one of those times where we're sort of miserable and nothing's happening, because we've booked it in. Therefore, we have lots of fun things to look forward to. Porty is now allowed back in the living room because his explosive bottom seems to have subsided. Ali has just popped another little one under here. Some of them were looking a little bit worse for wear, but I decided to rescue them, and they look really, really lovely. We're going to pop one there. We're also going to get one for Ali's office. There'll be some in here as well. I'm not huge on houseplants, you'll know this. I'm not huge on them. I find them a bit kind of like, I don't know, they're always a bit modern, unless they're like the right ones, like olive trees and ferns seem to work really well, and then like potted herbs. Those are sort of where I tend to stick. I see so many people, like Zana has so many amazing houseplants. Her house is like a tropical dream, and it just would never suit my house. So yeah, I'm always quite picky with them, but I think they work and I'm very happy.
Liz, I've deleted 5 minutes of me rinsing you in my vlog.
But babe, you were rinsing me for not doing any work. I'm rinsing you for loving your boy so much that you can't help but feed him.
I was rinsing you at the same time as complimenting you for how much work you were doing for a change.
Mr. Millen Gordon is in the kitchen. Oh, his sausage sauce is amazing. Right, my hair is up in a bun because I desperately need to wash it and I need to tone it. So I've just got Despina on the line. She said, call me when you are ready. So we're going to tone my hair, ready for work tomorrow. So that's why Mr. Millen Gordon...
I'll have dinner. It's going to be ready in like 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to tone my hair ready to go back to work so that it's nice and glossy and shiny. And so yeah, we're going to eat dinner first and then...
Biggest currently eating dinner.
This sausage sauce is amazing though. Good morning. I am up. I've just done my PT session and it is now just gone 7:30. I'm about to take Porter for a walk. And this is the first morning that I have managed to get up at 6 in a very, very long time. Over the Christmas period, I read a book, which I think it was actually recommended by Ruth Crilly in one of her chocolates and reading or chocolate and books, like gifts. And it was How to Break Up With Your Phone. And it was interesting because I'd never felt like I was really like into my phone in that way. And then it highlighted a few things in a few areas where I was like, no, I can definitely change that. And one of the things is not taking our phones into the bedroom anymore. And what we noticed was that we were not waking up earlier because we used our phones as alarms. I've got a Lumi alarm clock and I need to get back into the routine of using that properly. So we were like sleeping through our alarm clocks, but we've kind of adjusted that now. And well, this was the first day that I managed to like get up. My phone is now across the room, so it charges on the little sofa seating area in our bedroom, and that seems to be working well. So that's just one of the things. And actually, even just with the few changes that I've made now, I think I got my weekly report and it was down like 11% of how I'm using my phone. I'm trying not to read too many books on my phone and rather order the books and read the books in my hands, and then obviously listen to books on audio. Sorry if I look like an actual worm, but I haven't faked tan for a while. I toned my hair last night as well, so it's looking a lot better. Despina helped me tone my hair all the way from Greece. It's so funny, I'm sat down and I'm like, right, so I put it here. But yeah, so the new phone thing is one of the, I'm kind of setting like good, positive intentions for the year. And that is definitely one of them, like not getting on my phone in social situations, like when people are talking. I feel like that's just become such a normal thing to do. And that's something I really, really want to stop. It was funny, I went to Soho Farmhouse with my 2 friends, Alex and Alex, the other day, and even they like noticed that I was on my phone so much less. But there was one time when I was like, I've heard this story and got on my phone. But it's one of the things I'm focusing on. Also, obviously, I'm finding my rhythm with fitness and things like that. I know that there's a lot online at the moment about, you know, just not feeling guilty or whatever like that. I am someone that just really, I've actually found my rhythm with fitness, and I now enjoy lots of doggy walks and the way that I'm training with my Vaha and PT and things like that. So it's, yeah, I'm really sort of in a good place with my fitness, and I'm seeing the changes that I want more. So I've focused on, like, my whole mindset has changed in terms of what I think looks good. I used to want to be like the smallest that I could possibly be, and I really, really don't want that anymore. I actually just want to be like the healthiest that I can be. And it's really funny, I feel like Porter's really inspired me. I was just talking about it with my PT, but like the way that he is affected by what he eats is so interesting. Like when we first got him, we fed him kibble, and oh my goodness, like his number 2s smelt awful. He smelt. Then we tried him on like cooked food, and still he was very smelly. What he produced was very smelly, like lots of wind and things like that. And then when we put him on raw, he doesn't really smell as a dog. He doesn't fart, pardon me. And his number 2s are really, really healthy. And it's always in my mind that I'm like basically now trying to make better choices with the things that I'm eating. So even yesterday when we were out, I got like a really lovely yogurt and muesli pot, and that was perfect, rather than instantly going for the crisps that I would normally do, which I will still have crisps, like, of course. But today I need to make my batch of lemon and ginger tonic for Ali and I, because we both just love it. It's homemade. I think eventually I'll be making it using the lemons from my lemon tree, fingers crossed. I need to get more lemon trees. I'm also going to prep lots of like snack sticks, so cut down my carrots and my cucumber, so that those are the things that I actually prefer. I don't actually want the crisps, but the crisps are just easier. So if I prep the carrot sticks and things like that, I can grab myself a little snack pot of carrots and hummus, and that's me sorted. I love peppers, I love carrots, and I love cucumber with like salt on it. So I know we spoke about this last night. So those are just a few little tiny intentions that I'm setting. I've gone through the questions that people have asked me, and some of them are so interesting. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take Porter out on his walk, which I always love as well, because it means I've like closed my rings on my Apple Watch by like 9 o'clock, which makes me very happy, apart from like my stand ring. Then I'm gonna come back, get showered and ready for the day, and I think that we should sit down and answer some of the questions, because I just think that they're so interesting, and I think that some of you guys will be really shocked by my answers. I've also ordered a lot of thermal stuff on Amazon this morning, because oh my goodness, it is crisp outside, and so I'm gonna need a few extra layers, I think, to get me through these doggy walks. I hope you're gonna be warm enough, my boy. But yeah, first day back at work today, and looking forward to it. Still got a free house though, because the girls aren't here, so lovely. As you can see from the light on my hair, it is a very, very beautiful sunrise at the moment over the fields, and oh, I feel just, oh. It was a very short walk this morning because Porter, I think he was too cold. We're gonna need to get him something a bit warmer, I think, because he needs his walks, but he needs to also be very warm on them. It's so funny. His tiny little balls just disappear inside of him when he's cold. But seeing as I should be on a walk right now, I thought instead I would get a little bit comfortable and I would answer some of your questions, because it's so weird coming back after having some time off like that, because I'm like, where do I even start? So I thought I'd give a little bit of context. There was one question yesterday that I really liked. You'll probably hear Porter crying because he's snuggling with his girlfriend, shall we say. Oh, he's taking her for a walk. There were lots of questions about the house, generally, like in terms of what are we going to do in the house this year. Ideally, we will get the inside of the house finished this year. That is what I would really, really like to do. We needed to finalize the actual plans for the rest of the house. They weren't finished at the initial planning stage. So we are waiting for all of the revised plans to come through from our interior designer. And we learnt so much, like so much on the first one. I'm glad we're doing it in stages. because I just want to be sure that I'm like putting everything that I want into each room. The thing that I love about our house is that it's like, I've always said this, it's a blend of modern and country rustic kind of living, and I think that we can add so much more texture to this house. So basically I would like to be sitting here next year in at least, like, for the most part, in a finished inside of the house. I want to get the lower ground finished. My mind was rejigged because when I went to Soho Farmhouse recently, we went into, if you've ever been, it's like the bar as you go, it's like opposite the reception. We went in there and I was like, oh my gosh, this. And then I went back to Time and I was like, no, the bar at Time is it. That is what we want to kind of create, that cozy, lived in kind of aesthetic in there. So yes, there is going to be, fingers crossed, hopefully we'll be working on the house. So yeah, I do want to get it finished because I love this home so much, but I know that it can be so much better. But its location is the thing that just sets our heart on fire. Every time I look at houses on Rightmove, I'm like, that's a beautiful home, look at that location, it's horrible. And I think that when you've had a location like this, where we are just like in the middle of nowhere, it spoils you. It really spoils you. And it's funny when we speak to our neighbours, like our neighbours have bought another property here and another piece of land because they're like, we just don't want anyone else here. So they're like buying everything and I love it. So yeah, anyway, I hope that I'll be sat here this time next year with a finished home for the most part. The next question was, what are some of your brand partnership goals for 2022? Oh gosh, I had such, like, I feel like I had such a change of heart last year. And the thing that I realized I have such a passion for is like the difference that I'm able to make when I find something that I love and tell you about it, because, and I don't want this to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet, but because you guys trust my opinion so much. Like, we changed so many lives last year just through recommending products. And I had one of the businesses turn around to me and say, Lydia, you changed the life that we were leading. I now have the opportunity to put my kids through private school thanks to you. Like, I get to give them a better education thanks to what you did for my business. And in that moment, I was like, this is what this is all about. And I think for many years, I got lost in like the prestige of brands. And I'm still very much like, you know, I love brands and I love designers, but I think that the water was muddied somewhat along the way, and I want to make sure that at the heart of my channel is just amazing recommendations all the time. Like, that's the heart and soul, and I don't want to get lost in the desire, like in to put it bluntly, in my ego, wanting to work with like prestige. I still, like, there are brands like Bulgari who I just think the team are so like on the ball and so forward thinking, and also have the right blend of how to work with influencers. I'm never going to stop loving brands and loving high-end items, and I'm always going to be striving to work alongside them, but I want to make sure that I'm not losing like my focus on this. And the focus of my channel is to tell you about really good things and things that I think are worth you spending your money on. And like, even with the like hair burst thing, there was a reason why I told you about it first before I ever like worked with them, because that was something that I was using every day and seeing great results from, but wasn't telling you about because I felt like the branding was wrong. And honestly, that mindset is just gone from everything I'm ever doing. Like, that mindset is gone. For me, that's my ego, and I don't want to be playing into my ego anymore. I want to do a really good job. I want to be really good at my job for you guys, and I want, more than anything, like, our relationship and the trust at the forefront. So that's definitely my focus this year. I want to work hopefully with smaller brands. I wouldn't say newer brands, because for me it's really important that brands have an understanding of what the internet can be like, and that is something that I've been conversing with Instagram about, like hopefully putting together things that brands can use to help them exist online better. But I have to be careful who I work with, because I've worked with small brands in the past, and there needs to be like an understanding of how the internet is, basically. But like protecting myself in terms of like how I feel. So anyway, that's my focus. Obviously, I'm still going to strive to work with brands that I love, but I learned a lot of hard lessons last year, which makes me sad to think about, because like there were brands that I'd worked for years, like literally years, that I had loved and been loyal to and am still loyal to now, that sounds really sad, but like hurt me, like really hurt me. And that was a real kind of, something that I needed to go through, I think, but it's also sad. And so from that, I'm like, it just put things into perspective and made me realize where my priorities need to lie. And it certainly isn't with the prestige of a brand. My priorities always have to be you, and I think I've been really good at that, but sometimes I think it's easy to get swept up in the prestige of a brand, and I'm just not. I'm gonna do my best to ignore that. So anyway, that was that question. I don't want it to be the longest question ever, longest answer ever. Right, question number 2. How will you continue your happiness journey? And there were lots of things like, what are your goals for 2022? Everyone talks about goals, but what's your biggest fear? So it's really interesting, really good questions. Because I had such a shift last year, Ali and I went through so many like emotions and life lessons that were just incredible, and it changed us as people for the better. And we prioritize now above everything. It's like our happiness, like that's just it. Like our goal in life is to live a beautiful, wonderful life. So it just basically comes down to, if it doesn't feed into that goal, we don't do it. That means from like a work perspective, I obviously I want to travel again, and I would love to travel again for work and do like more, but not what we were doing before. And it made me resent it, and it made like I never went on holiday because all I was doing was working. And I know that there'll be people that say, Lydia, you were just always on holiday. And I know that we are able to make it look like that. And I know that you'll always hear influencers saying, you know, oh my God, it's so hard. Like I'm working on this trip. It's very lovely work, but it's still not the same as going on holiday, switching off your phone and just being like at peace. And so, yeah, there are things, but the overarching goal for us is to live a happy life. And that means like cementing our future, obviously, through how we invest our money, how we plan for the future. And luckily for us, we have an exceptional team of people that like advise us on the best ways for us to do that, because that's basically what it's about. I just want to be comfortable. And I'm so happy with that. Like I want to do amazing things, and I want to continue doing everything that I've done in this industry, but like I just want to be happy at the forefront. And there are so many people that I meet and I'm like, wow, you're killing it in this industry, but I don't think you're happy. And I was one of them. I wasn't happy, and now I'm happy. And so that is what everything feeds into. Like my happiness is the place where I am like selfish. And I'm just like, this is what it's all about. Like Ali and I being happy, my friends and I being happy, our families being happy, that's all we want. I'm gonna tie my hair up so I stop faffing with it, because I know you're gonna be losing your absolute marbles over it, but I keep looking in the viewfinder and I'm like, Jesus, Lydia, go and put on some makeup. So yeah, that's pretty much our goal. Like all of the other ones, like, you know, buying a second property or whatever, which is a big question. Like, are you buying your cottage? Honestly, I look every day on Rightmove, but the way that we've structured our investments now means that we won't be able to do that for like a few years. We decided to take a different route rather than the property route right now. We decided to like invest elsewhere, basically, in a nutshell. So that's that. What else? Oh my God, do you still talk to Carrie? She literally just drove onto my driveway and I was like, what are you doing here? Go home. Oh, she's just, usually on a Wednesday, no one's here, but because it's the first day back at work, I think they thought that they needed to come in, and I was like, guys, there's nothing for you to do to come in today. Like, I am filming today, I'm getting all of my work done today. Tomorrow, call me, come to work. What was the most challenging part of 2021? Okay. The most challenging part of 2021, I think, was just generally navigating the global pandemic still, and the effects that it had on everyone. Like, everyone's mental health suffered. If yours didn't, I want whatever you had, because literally everyone's mental health suffered. And through that, the world became quite a hostile place, and that was hard to navigate being online, because I think that the online world is quite like a hostile place, can be quite a hostile place. And I was a very sensitive person. And the thing about me is that if I come up against something and I can't do it, I might crash and burn for a little while, but then I find a way around it. And that was the hardest thing to overcome, is that, because it wasn't like you were navigating normal things that would happen, like say you start, actually no, that was 2020. Yeah, normal things that like happen in people's lives, like that happen every day, but navigating that in a more hostile world, in a digital world, in front of a million people, that's the thing that I would say that I wasn't equipped, and now I am equipped. So that was the hardest thing. But it's all for good in the end. And this is the thing that I'm now realizing, like I look back, oh my God, I look back and like, I don't know how I did it for 30 however many years. I don't know how I coped. Like, everything that used to happen was catastrophic. Everything. Like, I lived my whole life just anxious all the time. And like, so I was like really anxious when I thought I had anxiety, but really I was just constantly anxious. And what anxiousness does to you, it makes you irritable, it makes you quite curt, it makes you on edge. And so everything that I was like dealing with, I was like miserable. And now, like, it's so funny, something happens and I'm just like, I'll know the good reason for this in the end. And to just sit in that acceptance all the time and know that not everything is going to be the end of the world. Like, if I, couldn't do this tomorrow, I know that I've made sure that I am safe and my family will always be okay. And so I sit in this level of comfort that I'm just happy. I'm just always happy. And so it just, yeah, I think that's kind of it. Everything, I feel like every answer to those questions was like, I'm happy. But yeah, so anyway, I kind of talked to you about my fitness stuff as well, because lots of people were asking me about that. I'm using my Vaha every opportunity that I get, and I just love it. And I feel like I'm changing my relationship with food, and I've certainly changed my relationship with what my goals. Oh, sorry, my battery died. But my goals just used to be that I wanted to be tiny, like I said earlier. Like, I wanted to be thin. Thin equal happy. And actually, the thing that I've realized is when I've been my thinnest, I've been my saddest. And anyone that I know, it's almost like when someone's really thin, I'm like, what's happening? Like, what's going on in their life? And so I realized that through changing my relationship and my thoughts around what I deem to be healthy, has improved my journey in fitness, and has improved my relationship with food. I now love healthy food. I love healthier options. So like, and this was what I always wanted to have before, but I'll still have the unhealthy options. Like, I won't say you can't have it, but I know what I'm getting into now. And so I really feel like I've had such a great change with my approach to health and my body as well. Like, my body now, I literally just stand and I look in the mirror and I'm like, holy macaroni, look at that tush. You worked hard for that tush, okay? Go you. And all you had to do was just up your calories a little bit more, Lydia. But yeah. Anyway, so I am gonna get myself up and dressed and ready for the day because I am going to be filming my video to go out tomorrow, which is my sit down video for my what I got for Christmas video. We're gonna pot some ferns, we're gonna prepare some healthy bits and pieces, and we are gonna carry on with the day. So this is probably gonna be a bit of a long start to the vlogs, but fingers crossed. I don't tell you everything and then I've got nothing to tell you for the rest of the year. Anywho. Right, we are finally looking a little bit more put together. However, I have just used a new tool on my hair, a much smaller barrel, and I'm eagerly awaiting these very crazy waves to drop. So you'll have to excuse me and excuse the faffing if I do end up faffing with it. I'm just trying to make it sit right. So we potted this fern yesterday, and this looks absolutely perfect on the console in the hallway. These are such an inexpensive way to dress your home this year. I always find I would rather have like potted or preserved things around my home because I hate getting flowers and then them dying within 2 or 3 days. So this is like my dream scenario, and you can pick these up for like £7 each. This big one was like £7. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it in lots of different places, and then I think what I might actually do is head to another garden centre and see if I can pick up a few more, because I don't know when the bell plantation is going to get more. So I might try and head somewhere else and just pick a few more up. This is my favourite pot, like, of them all, and I think this will probably need a bigger fern inside of it because it's quite a big pot, if you see. But this is honestly one of my like finds of the century because I love the like pickle jar, the antique pickle jar look, and this is like a pot version, so I can just shove a pot inside of it, if you know what I mean, and it works really well. I've got a few of the other ferns here. Now, like I said, there was only a few left, but that would need to be raised up. So I'm going to grab a few more pots, and I'm just going to sporadically pop them around the house and see how many I think I need, because I think we're going to need at least 3 for the bedroom, a small one and 2, a medium one and a slightly larger one probably. But I definitely find this way of putting foliage in your home my absolute favourite, because they don't die. You just give them a good water every now and again, and they just live on in pots. Sometimes they might get a bit big, but you just kind of swap them around. Candles this time of year, I think that they just lift the mood. I've got a peony and blush suede one burning in the hallway at the moment. I'm just doing everything to try and not let any January blues come into my space. It's not happening, I'm not allowing it. Right, I'm gonna get all the other ferns potted up, and then we're gonna have a look and see where they look best. It is definitely not a day to be out here, but I have to say, this greenhouse does provide wonderful shelter from the wind. Holy macaroni, it's the wind that is doing half of Jack Frost's dirty work at the moment. It is so cold out there, so I'm gonna get potting. I'm gonna put on the book that I'm listening to at the moment. I listened to, obviously, the book about breaking up with your phone. I'm now listening to the book by Mo Gawdat, which is called Soul for Happy. I love it already. And I just love his voice. I guess it's not for everyone, because some of the reviews that I read were a bit sort of like, oh, it took a little bit of getting used to, but no, love his voice, and I love the whole ethos around everything that he talks about. So I'm gonna pop that on, pot these ferns, get them in situ, and then probably head out to look for some more. Well, they are looking absolutely lovely, so I'm gonna have a play around with them. Sadly, they were all too big for my favorite pot, so I'm gonna make sure that I get a little small one that will fit into this, so this can go on like a bedside table or something like that, because I just, honestly, if anyone ever sees where this pot was from, let me know, because I love it. Just trying them out on the kitchen table, and I think I need like one big one and then some really tiny little ones to go in here. So here, this is obviously a little bit too low, quite a lot too low. Usually we had a really big branchy display, which I'm sure Gemma will be able to sort that out for us, so I'm going to give her a message. But the other thing I'm thinking I can do is pot a very large fern in an urn so that it's raised up higher, but you still get all the branches going everywhere. So obviously this is too low and too small for this area. Definitely needs some height here, but looks lovely. Well, it's safe to say that my curls did not drop in the way that I hoped they would. I felt a little bit poodle-esque today, so sorry if I've faffed with my hair quite a lot. I've finished up all of my filming for the day, and I'm just ticking everything off of my list. For my everyday kind of work and to-do list essentials, I use my Smythson Soho diary. This is, I think it's the chocolate brown one. I have actually ordered a new one, despite realizing that I bought the halfway through the year one. So I'm gonna be sort of flitting between two diaries halfway through this year, but it's fine, it's fine. I'm just ticking things off, and I thought that I would show you, basically, I don't think there's anything that is particularly sensitive. So I thought I would show you how I plan my week. Basically, I note down everything that I have to get done. This might seem quite trivial, but I literally put down things like workout, because it makes me feel really motivated just to like tick those things off. In terms of content, I note everything down here. So on Monday, it was literally just an entire day of packing down for Christmas and cleaning and organising the house. So I note down everything that needs doing, and then I feed it into here, and then anything that isn't ticked off gets carried over into the next week. So I have all of my content. So on Mondays and Thursdays, I will have videos in. Obviously, I didn't have a video this Monday, so I'll have my video in there, blog posts in there, what I'm filming, and bits and pieces like that. I prefer to use a week view diary and then have this notes page, because it just helps with organising everything. So I've not started moving things into next week yet, but I'm just doing my evening tick off so that I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow and what the plan of action is. I am always my most productive when I do this, and I definitely fell off the wagon when I wasn't very well last year, so I'm back at using this at the moment. So that is me finishing up and closing my diary and ticking everything off my list, which always makes me feel so productive. I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little bit of a dress of the table. It feels a bit empty in here, and I definitely found that dressing the table over Christmas was so much fun. So I'm going to pop a little like fern inspired tablescape on, nothing fancy. I'm literally just leaving one pot and then doing my new napkins that I ordered from Time. Honestly, their napkins are so beautiful. And then I think I'm gonna light the fire in the living room, because despite having turned up all of the heating in the house after turning it down, it is absolutely freezing today. Like, the temperature has just dropped. So I'm gonna curl up in front of the fire. We're having jacket potatoes for dinner, and I picked up 2 of these magazines when we were in Waitrose yesterday. I'd never heard of them before, but they just looked like they were right up my street. So this one was called The Simple Things, and I just had a quick flick through, and it just looked like all of the good, homely, warm vibes that I love. So I think I'm gonna have a flick through that. And then this was sat next to it. This is called Wellbeing Mindfulness. It's called Breathe, but it's about well-being, mindfulness, creativity, and escape, which sounded, again, completely up my street. But I just thought that these would make some nice reading to cozy in front of the fire. I feel like the evenings, there's often, I think I'm not going to vlog for the rest of the evening, and then Ali says something and I just have to share it with you. Oh my goodness, I actually cannot believe what he's just said to me. So I'm sat and I'm watching his video that he did of cleaning our house. So he put on a David Attenborough program, and like I like David Attenborough. I've got to be honest, I don't particularly enjoy watching his programs because they often have like an animal being killed or something like that.
This one wasn't that though.
Oh, okay,
this
well,
was about like dinosaurs and birds.
Okay, I find them a bit boring, all right? I love David Attenborough. I'm like totally like a fan, but I sometimes find his programs a bit boring. Anyway, so I was watching his video and it got to the end of the video and I was just laughing and laughing and laughing as I was watching it. And the one thing that I would say to him, and I was like, is it okay if I give you some constructive feedback? Because I thought this was a lovely vlog and I smiled and laughed all the way through. And he said yes. And I was like, sometimes, and I'm not perfect either, but sometimes his cuts were a little bit too harsh. And like he needs to just give himself a little bit more space between where he puts a cut. Ali then said to me, is that because when you're watching it, you aren't taking breaths yourself? And I was like, no, that's not why. I just think for ease of watching. He's like, oh, because sometimes when I'm editing my videos, I actually breathe in sync with myself when I'm editing the video, and so if there are no like breaths, I don't breathe, and so I have to go.
I think you have to do that.
No, I think that's one of the funniest things you've ever said. I can't believe that you don't just like breathe like a normal person. Why would you breathe the way that you're breathing on your video?
Well, like I'm editing and I'm listening to me speaking and I'm not taking any breaths because I've edited them all out. And then all of a sudden I'm
not taking any breaths because I've edited them all out.
I can't explain it.
Oh, you do make me laugh, Ali. You do. You're very funny. We just watched a Great British Scandal, and it was really good.
It was okay.
I really enjoyed it.
It was filmed beautifully.
Yeah, it was beautifully filmed. Claire Foy is such an incredible actress.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable.
I felt like it was based on a true story, so obviously I think the storyline could only be in the parameters of a true story.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like it was that exciting.
No, it also wasn't like a feel-good thing, which isn't something that we really like enjoy watching anyway, but I found it very interesting. After watching the Downton film the other day,
That was nice.
nothing ever compares, quite honestly. I'm so sad that the new film isn't coming out until March, but it gives us something to look forward to. But anyway, I am going to put the vlogging camera down now. This is the most horrendous angle of me ever. But we had the most wonderful dinner. I've laid the table, so I'm going to, after this clip, tomorrow, I'm going to insert a clip of my finished tablescape for winter. This is the finished tablescape. I've not put out my cutlery because I'm still yet to find a really lovely, more rustic cutlery set. But we've got some figs on the table, we've got the ferns, we've got my gorgeous fern napkins from Time, also my lovely garden trading glasses, which I don't think they sell anymore, but they are my favourite. I'm so happy that I snapped those up. These are my little Christmas tea light holders that I got from the local garden centre, and pop some tea lights in there. Also a lovely little Dalesford fig candle there, but I just think it's an easy but lovely tablescape, and I just wanted to make sure that it still looks nice even though it's not Christmas. So something simple, not too fussy, not too glamorous, but lovely and natural. And I will see you guys in my next video because I'm picking up the camera straight away and vlogging with you tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm going to do a little bit more about like my health goals and things like that for this year, and everything that I'm doing like health wise. I think we're going to go in a little bit more depth. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.